Yeah, I say that all the time. I'm like, it is so good to have other people just talk, even if they're repeating literally. And I say that often when I talk to teens. I'm like, your coach has probably said this, or you've probably heard this before, but it's so true how, like, we kind of strategically do that too. Like if I have a coach who has a girl that she thinks to be a rock star, she's like, can you just talk to her for a second? I'm like, yeah, sure. Cause sometimes it just takes like Kate talking to me. I was like, I have no idea who this girl is, but she thinks I could maybe do this. So why not try? Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Okay. Okay. So hopefully everyone maybe saw my crazy live in Sister Empire. I am curious, like what rank y'all are. Are we emeralds, diamonds? Where are we at?
Emerald.
Emeralds. Okay. I just always like to ask. Um, Man, I was thinking when I was getting out of the shower, because I was like, man, I just did that live. That's usually like my go-to just speech talking, because I feel like anytime someone asks me to talk, they're like, can you please talk about inviting and can you please talk about posting? Because like that's me. I just will post whatever and not think twice about it. And I will invite, like, the party is ending in an hour. Like, that's just who I am. But I say that, and I want to also say that, and I tell this to my coaches, like, at the same time, you are crazy if you think that I never have bad days or that I never have days where I get into my own head, because I am human and that we all do that. So a lot of times I had one coach, one of my personal coaches, she was like, what? Like, you never have a bad day. And I'm like, what? Like, yes, even me, like I have bad days too. But the difference is that I will recognize that bad day. I will recognize that mindset. And I'm like, okay, Tori, I talk to myself a lot, by the way. I'm like, okay, you have 10 minutes to sulk. And then, like, we've got to get out of this, like, because you are serving no one by sitting in this negative mindset. And does it always take 10 minutes? No. Sometimes I might have a horrible day and it's all day long, but I will literally go to bed on a bad day. I will go to bed early and tell myself that it's a new day tomorrow and I am going to wake up and I'm going to inspire someone and I'm going to motivate someone. I know that probably sounds crazy, y'all, but I literally will talk to myself. And so I was also trying to think, I was like, man, because I, like Tiffany will tell you, there is nothing special about me. I come from a small town. But I was trying to think, like, what is something that I could tell y'all that you maybe didn't hear in my live. And so when in the shower, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, people always ask, like, well, or everyone knows, like, Summit was the pivotal moment for me. That was when I changed. That's when I was like, I'm going to do this business. Why the heck not? Like, there's a girl up there walking the stage. I want to be that girl one day, or I at least want to try. And so I realized, yes, Summit was the pivotal moment for me in my business, but really the pivotal moment was when I set my goals. When I came home and said, I will hit Success Club 10 every month and I will be a 3-star diamond. And the funny thing is I wanted to be a 3-star diamond because while sitting at Summit, I had already thought of 2 people that I could probably get or convince to do this with me. And I was like, man, I could probably tell her and her and push them to diamonds. I was like, I'm gonna be a 2-star. And I was like, okay, Tori, why are you setting yourself short? Like, make yourself have to do some work. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a 3-star diamond. You can tell I had no clue about anything, like who shoots for 3-star. I don't know, but I did. It was on my sticky note. I wanted to be a 3-star diamond and I wanted to be a Success Club 10. And I really think like that was the pivotal moment for me. Like, I had a goal, and Julie Boris did a video not too long ago, and God, it just resonated with me so much. And I mean, you heard Leanne talk about it too. Like, it is so true. If you do not have a goal, you are not going to get up and work this business. You're not going to stay up late and work this business. And I'm telling you that from experience, because last year my goal was to hit 8-star, and before I set that goal, I was truly floating. The only thing I was doing was hitting Success Club, because that's a non-negotiable for me. That's a goal I always want to hit every month in my business. But I didn't realize it. But at the moment, like, that was the only goal I had was Club. So guess what? The only thing I was doing was hitting Success Club. I wasn't doing anything else. I wasn't trying to help a girl build herself to Emerald. I wasn't like, and it just made me realize, like, in those moments, like, you have to have some kind of goal. So I know a lot of people talk about goals, but I would love, I know some of y'all are on your phone, so you might not be able to, but if you have a goal, like put it in the chat, because I want to see what your goals are. And I tell my coaches, I'm like, y'all, there's not this like perfect goal that has to be. So my goals when I left Summit were, I wanted to be a 3-star diamond. I wanted to be a Success Club 10 all-star, because at the time Clara was an all-star and I was like, I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. Like, I want to be an all-star. I wanted to be an all-star, and I wanted to finish a personal development book, and I wanted to help someone lose 50 pounds. Those are my goals. Like that's not there's no income in there. There's no like crazy, I wanted to hit elite. I didn't even know what elite was. Like, I just think that like having those small goals are just as important as having those big, scary dreams. So, okay. I love that goal of having a working coach, like doing push to diamond. So like, we know like shooting for diamond, technically, if you really, really wanted to, which I didn't at the time, but you could technically build your own diamond if you wanted, because you could have your husband on one side and maybe your mom on the other. But I love the idea of having a goal to find a working coach or to help someone become a working coach. I think that's a big thing. That's a very good goal that I think we often overlook. Instead of flipping the script of like, I want to help someone become a working coach, and I say we, because I have been in that chair where I'm like, I just have no working coaches. Like, I want a working coach. I want a working coach. Okay, what if we make a working coach? What if we create one? Someone asked me the other day, it was one of my coaches in Embracing the Cash. She was like, what the heck are you doing? Like, you keep announcing these like 2-time emerald, 3-time emerald. And I'm like, I am trying to build some freaking coaches, because I'm done looking for them. Right.
So tell me, like, what are you just breathing life into them? Are you just just pumping them up? Or like, what is your conversation? So like the sign up, and then what are you saying? What is happening?
Okay. We're right there on track. That's what I'm saying. So this is what I have been doing, because every year, like, so now a goal of mine is to hit elite. Well, I have to find new people every year. And so at the beginning of the year, I literally was like, I am focusing on my challengers. You want to know why? Because before I was a coach, I was a challenger. And like a lot of my solid coaches were bomb challengers before they were a coach. So what I have done this year, and I literally was thinking about this month, I was like, oh my God, I slipped. Like, I feel like I didn't breathe into my challengers as much, because my January and February challengers are freaking coaching. So they're newbies and I'm trying to breathe into them. But basically, like, first off, I have made my challengers send me their before pictures, their before measurements. And I tell them they can send me their before pictures and or measurements. And I don't say like they absolutely have to, but I kind of I will like bother them until they send them to me. And I just tell them, I'm like, these are for my eyes only. And really, like, they're really just for you, for your accountability. Because, and I tell them, I'm like, what I have found is that when my challenger sends me their before picture, they feel more like apt to actually get their workout in, to follow a nutrition plan. Because just like me, if I put my before picture out there, I'm like, oh shoot, I have to go to work. Like, I have to show some results. And so I've been making them send me their before pictures and just checking in with them and just telling them like, wow, you are killing it. And then what it is they send me that after picture and I'm like, dude, look at your transformation. And I have been telling my challengers, I'm like, do you want accountability? You know what you need to do? You need to show up on your stories. So like, my girls don't even realize that I'm building them into a coach. I am telling them that if they want to be accountable in their own journey, then they need to show up on social media. Because I tell them, I'm like, the minute you show up on social media, you're going to be less likely to back out, because you're like, oh crap, somebody knows I'm working out right now. So like, now I have to keep going. So I play it to them like that. And then I tell them, I'm like, you don't have to be like me. You don't have to talk in your stories. Just show a picture of your watch, show a picture of your tennis shoes. So I give them ideas of like what to post on their stories. And generally, like, you'll see they start posting more. And then that's when I'll kind of like eavesdrop in there, or like, and I've even kind of backed off of the whole idea of like, we all know about breadcrumbing. Well, it's like nothing, when you got that new coach and they're like, Shakeology. And I'm like, whatever, I don't even care. She's posted on social media. Like, because Brennan, my husband, is like, he knows all the tips and tricks, and he'll be like, hey, is she yours? Because she's posted about Shakeology. And I'm like, she's mine. Just like the post and keep moving. Like, we're just trying something new this year. And so honestly, like, that is what has been happening. And so what I've also been doing is kind of like what Kate talks about, is I've been telling them to, like, maybe like after like 3 or 4 days after they've signed up, I'm kind of like, okay, I want you to think right now, who is someone that can do this with you? Like, who can we get? We want to get them to sign up the same way you signed up. And we're going to just, get them started so that you'll feel more accountable too. And I actually had a girl a couple nights ago. I did a live about coaching and about how, like, me being a coach holds me accountable. It's the reason why I worked out through my pregnancy. It's the reason why I worked out that very first day that I was allowed to work out postpartum. And so here's a girl, she's been a challenger of mine for a year, and she was like, I think I need to be a coach. I think it would keep me more accountable. And I was like, I think it would too. And so do I see her hitting the ground running and hitting diamond in a month? No. But I also have a girl that just hit Success Club without even trying, because she all of a sudden is just finding her friends, and she's finding the passion of helping others. And she basically started with, I just told her the same thing. I was like, show up on your stories, and it's going to keep you more accountable as a challenger. Like, I'm not even really mentioning coaching to them. But what I have been doing is if they do find a friend, or if they seem a little interested, it is a lot more work on me, but I feel like it's paying off. Is like, the minute they sell that first challenge pack, I'm like, oh my God, that's so exciting. Like, can I announce you as a new coach? So I kind of like don't even announce them as like, I know I kind of just like shifted topics right there, but like, I kind of like make them work for that new coach flyer. Cause I even had a girl the other day sign up. She's like, I want to be a coach. I want to do this. I'm like, okay, great. Let's do it. And she saw me post some flyers, and she was like, well, what can I do to get a new coach flyer? Like, so people know that I'm doing this. And I was like, people are going to know you're doing this because you're showing up in your stories. That's how we want people to know you're doing this. I was like, and then when you saw your first challenge pack, I'm going to announce you as a new coach. And she's like, okay. So now she's like gung ho to like find a friend, but also like, I kind of just keep it as that. Like, I'm not really talking to them about like, I'm not talking to them too much about the income. I mean, I might mention to them like, look, like when I first started, I literally tried finding 3 people a month just because I wanted to pay for my products. So like, you could get your products paid for. And I really am making it about them. Like, do this coaching thing with me because it's going to keep you accountable on your own journey. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
I actually have a girl that's like going to hit diamond Thursday. And she's laughing because she's like, this is so crazy. Like, she was at my house last month with one person underneath her. But I've just been really talking to her about like showing up in your stories, like inviting is, I think, such a big thing. And I guess like just making it like super casual, even for, our challengers and stuff.
Yeah, I think that really spoke to a couple of girls on here, just like the simplicity of, it doesn't have to be this super scary, big deal, big, like, shebang. It really is just inviting people into this with you.
Yeah.
Because
I think just having the mindset, like I said in that live, it really is just having the mindset of like, this, it's not about us. It's about them, like we should not make the choice for them. We should allow them to make the choice of whether they say yes or no. And if they say no, it has nothing to do with us as a person or as a coach. It has everything to do with them. And if they say no, that's okay. It just means that it's not, like I tell y'all, I'm just like, okay, that's not the girl that I'm meant to help this month. But I do believe that there is someone out there for me to help. And I do think that's a big part in it too, is like, you have to tell yourself that. Like, if you want Success Club to be your goal every month, then you need to start you need to wake up every day telling yourself that there are 3 people in this world that need your help. Notice that I said in this world. I'm not saying in your warm market. I'm not saying in your family and your friends. Like, in this world, there are 3 people a month that need our help. And so it is our job to step outside our bubble and step outside our comfort zone and, invite people to that, add more friends, just, I think, and I say y'all, like I do it too sometimes. Like I will get in my head, and that's why I say that inviting is totally a muscle. The more you use it, like I'm not telling you to sit down and send out 100 invites a day, but like sometimes I will like put something in my stories, and I know later that night I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at who viewed it, and I'm going to invite from that story. But I definitely think inviting is a big one for us. And I do, and like we were talking about, like the simplicity. Yeah, like keep it super simple. Like even your posts on your walls, like they don't have to be perfect. Y'all, when I first started, Tiffany knew. Tiffany was sitting right there in the room, and I was like, so what is this? What about Instagram? What should I be doing? I'm like, poor Tiffany. I was like, this girl's gonna hate me. I keep asking so many questions.
You're like, I hope it's okay that I'm asking so many questions. I'm like, yes, it's fine.
I remember Carly and them were leaving, and I was like, can I stay with you, Tiffany? Is it fine if I stay?
I'm like, yeah, girl, join the party. So I did have one girl had a question. She says, oh, so you kind of answered that. What does your relationship look like with your challengers after they get started? Like what kind of follow-ups do you do to make sure that they are getting started right?
I think that's a super good question. And so I could actually probably talk about it a little bit more. So I feel super techie because I have this Excel sheet right now. I usually just have a whiteboard because I'm real old fashioned and I use paper and pencil. And so for the longest time, I've had all my girls' names just written in paper and pencil. And I will literally tell myself, like on Tuesdays, do y'all use bod groups or Facebook?
I switched to bod groups. Siobhan, what do? Do you do bod groups or Facebook?
I have Facebook Messenger right now. I set up the bod group, like the introduction, but it really works with the girls. We keep in contact a lot with that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just thinking like to ask, but so I'm gonna tell you a couple of things. So I have realized that it definitely is super important. I tell them, I'm like, okay, I get them all set up and I'll tell them, look, your stuff's not in yet, but we can go ahead and get you started with like 21 day fix. I pretty much tell everyone to start with 21 day fix, but I tell them, I'm like, let me know when your box comes in. So I'm kind of putting that on them just because like, I don't want to say unfortunately, because I feel blessed to have multiple people sign up with me a month, but I tell my newer coaches, I'm like, if you only have so many people underneath you right now, consider yourself still kind of lucky because you could really hone in on those girls and check in with them almost every day. But so like this past week on Tuesday, I went to my bod group and it was just a copy and paste message. But if they worked out on Monday, I literally just sent happy Tuesday, girl, way to get your workout in on Monday. Let's kill it this week. And if they didn't get their workout in, they got the message saying happy Tuesday. I saw you didn't log your workout yesterday. It's okay. Life happens. Let's get back on track this week. Is there anything I can do to help? I do. And I've also been trying to, like, once they get their box in, especially if they are somebody with Shakeology, I am trying to do a lot better about making sure to check in like, hey, did you try your shakes? Like, do you like them? Because I don't know about y'all, but I know like when I first tried them, I didn't really love them, but I'm the type of person that I was like drowning in postpartum. So someone was like, here, drink this and you'll lose weight. And I'm like, okay, like, and I just drank the dang thing. So I'm trying to like follow up with them and tell them like, you need to be drinking these shakes and just kind of really staying on them. And so I have an Excel sheet this way that I can easily see, and it's so simple, y'all. It literally just has the date that they signed up and I have their name. And then I would put yes or no as to if they sent me their progress pics, because I think that is something big, like me doing that this year, because I just started it with 9 Week Control Freak. I think that's a big thing because it kind of makes them like have that trust, because like, I feel like they trust me a little bit more when they send that too. But I mean, other than that, really, that's it. Like, it's nothing super special, but like making sure to check in with them.
Yeah. And I think too, having that mindset of like, we get busy in our day, but and I was telling Tressa earlier, it's like what we see as like mundane things of like checking in, or, making sure your post is scheduled, doing these like little things seem simple or like maybe not that important, but it really does add up to the big picture of being successful and having people come back around and joining you in the next accountability group.
Yeah, I was using bod groups really good before they switched. I was really mad because I finally got comfortable in bod groups. So I was really mad when they took away bod groups or whatever it was, the app, and now we have bod groups. But we went back to bod groups this month. It's going to be our second month going on it. And I think what I love most about bod groups, and we had Facebook at first, a Facebook page, and we just had them do it every day. Every single day there was a poll at noon. It was scheduled. They checked in with their workout, their shake, energized, but like whatever. People loved it. You want to know why? Because it's just like us. Well, most type A people, you love checking things off a list. Everyone loves to check things off. So like they loved the polls. But what I love about the Bod app is just like I said, on Tuesday, me going and messaging them that, y'all, that makes them feel that little like, oh shoot, like she's watching me. And even though I'm not watching them for the rest of the week, they think I'm watching them. And so they are more likely to stick to their program, which means they are more likely to get results, which is more likely they're going to show progress. And guess what that's going to do for your business?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to have people knocking at your door. And if it doesn't have people knocking at your door, it's going to have people knocking at their door. And oh shoot, now your challenger just turned into a coach.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely been the big one for me.
Yeah. And everybody,
okay, so Stephanie, you said we're struggling in our bod group. Facebook was much more high traffic. 100% agree. I will agree with you until I'm blue in the face. I feel like our Facebook had a lot more activity, but I will say our bod app, before we switched back to Facebook, had a lot of activity too. Here's the difference. We kind of talked about this the other day. I talked about this with another leader, and she was like, I think my girls think just because this month wasn't that great, we're going to switch back to Facebook, but I don't want to go back. And we said that. We were like, that is the truth. If your challengers think that you're just trying out the bod app, they're going to be like, okay, we don't like this, we're going back. But you know, the people who are doing really good with my bod app are the newbies, because they don't know Facebook. They don't know anything different. So I think the more, but I will say too, kind of like what Tiffany was just saying, like for us, checking in with our workout, I'm very guilty of this, y'all. Checking in with my workout on my bod app isn't as important as checking in on my workout on my stories, but I'm wrong there. Checking in my group is almost equally, if not more important than checking in on my stories, because I need to be influencing the girls that are in my group. And I need to, like, I can't expect my girls to post a sweaty selfie if I'm not posting a sweaty selfie, or if I'm not showing my Shakeology. Mm-hmm. So don't get discouraged. Like we do, like in our groups, you know, I'm sure a lot of y'all do too. Like we have a template. So like every morning there is something there for me to post. I mean, I might get a couple comments on it. I actually said that I think in April, I'm going to do something completely different. Like I'm not going to use any template. I'm really considering doing this, and I mean, April's in a few days. But I literally thought, like, you know what? Every day, instead of following some template, I'm just going to ask them a question. Just comment below. Are you a dog person or a cat person? What is your favorite color? Like I'm literally like, can I come up with 30 WH questions for these girls to comment? Like just to get them in the habit of like, and that's the thing, is like we just have to create that habit for them of them looking for a post and whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't really care so much as long as they're like tracking, and the bod app is a lot easier for them to track.
Well, and I think too, like, I feel like, you know, Facebook is something we probably like naturally get on, but I feel like you can probably have a more personal relationship with the people that are connecting with you and the people that are signing up with you, because then you get to check in on them. And just like you said, like, hey, I saw you didn't work out on Wednesday and Thursdays. Everything okay? Like that's just that little piece of accountability, you know, I feel like goes a long way, and also builds your relationship as a client.
Yeah, I was so thankful when they brought that feature back. Honestly, kind of boycotting bod group until they brought that feature back, because it just to me is like a great feature. And y'all, I mean, does it take time? Yeah, it'll probably take me an hour to sit there and do all that, but like it's worth it. Like that's the reason why I have these new coaches, because at the end of the day, probably, I don't know if y'all were like me, but when I first started and someone told me I could be a coach, I was like, yeah, right. Like I can't be a coach. It wasn't until I started getting results and I started sharing my story and people wanted to know what I was doing, that I realized, well, maybe I can do this. And so I feel like that's the mindset like that I have like flipped, and just trying to really make it about like a let's do this together kind of thing. Like, let's hit Success Club together. Like, let's go find a friend together. You know, you could do it right now. You could talk to your challengers and be like, I want, I'm trying to think out loud, like I'm literally thinking, but I'm like, you could do something like, okay, in the month of April, like I want us all to bring a friend. Like I want us all to sign up one person with a challenge pack. And if you do it, I've got a prize for you. Y'all, I don't know about your girls, but like me back in the day, I would do anything for a prize, literally. So like you could just do something simple like that. You know, I had, what was it, in February, I just did, I mean, this is like not like a good example because these cups were $15, but I mean, I have brand new coaches, y'all. They don't really know much about the business, but I was like, if you hit Success Club, you get a cup. And I had one girl, she was like, I don't know what I need to do, but I'm getting that cup. And she hit Success Club. You know, just making it like fun, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Love that.
Mm-hmm. I really am, Stephanie, you say that, but that's an interesting tactic. I really am thinking about doing it. Like literally just tell them in the month of April, look for my question every day. Like I might not even have a picture with it, but just something to get them like out of their shell and like commenting. What I do try to do too is I will try to like purposely take time like every other night and go through and like comment on people's stuff and like people's stuff just so they know like, oh, okay, she's scrolling. Like I'm not trying to play teacher, but I just know me personally, like me as a person, if I think that I'm like kind of being watched or I have a coach checking in with me, I am totally going to push harder.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Just that little extra piece, but when they sign up, you're telling them that they're getting that accountability. So when you're doing it and they know that that's part of your job, and I feel like that's going to keep them coming back.
Yeah. And I also like, I'll tell them too, like sometimes in the beginning, I'm like, look, like I'm here, like you get me. This is part of the perk of signing up with me is that I am your personal coach. Like you can message, and I tell them like, you can message me at all hours. Like my phone does not wake me up. And I kind of like throw it out there as like, not like shame on you if you're not using me, because I am going to check in with you. But at the same time, like I'll have girls like, I'm sorry, I'm probably asking so many questions. And I'm like, no, like that's what I'm here for. Like ask me questions. I wish more people would, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to think. I was looking to see if anybody else had any questions. If y'all
have a question, please feel free to ask. I swear to gosh, I'm like literally an open book.
I have a question. What was a fear of yours maybe when you first started? Because you didn't start, how long were you a challenger or whatever before you were, I know like you went to Summit as an Emerald coach, but like what were your fears of like what was holding you back?
I will absolutely talk about my fears. I love talking about my fears when I first started. So for sure, my fears were people avoiding me. I really thought like, I'm so sorry if any of y'all did It Works, or if you know a family member that did It Works, but like It Works is like really big in our city. And I was like, I refuse to be the It Works girl. Like I refuse to be the person that people are like avoiding in Walmart. Like I really thought people were just gonna like run. And I was also fearful of like embarrassing my family. Maybe embarrassing myself, maybe embarrassing my husband, because I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to post my workouts and ask people to do this. Like, what if I fail? You know, like I was so scared of being that, like doing that and like being that girl. And it really wasn't until I went to Summit and I heard the guy speak and he told his story. And I realized like, wow, how freaking selfish of me. Like, I'm scared because I'm going to maybe embarrass myself. Like I can embarrass myself tripping in public. Like that's an embarrassment. Like, but this embarrassment that I am choosing to not like act on is kind of selfish of me to like not share. So I was definitely fearful of like kind of embarrassing and all that kind of stuff. And then I really just thought like, there's no way, like, I don't know, like I just thought there's no way people like this is a job. Like this, like people could like make money doing this. Like, I mean, I knew you could make money doing this. Granted, I was like wanting to pay for my products, but it really wasn't until I saw the $1 million banner at Summit. And I remember asking Kate, I was like, what is that? And she was like, because at the time it was called, I think, $1 Million Club. And I was like, what is that? And she was like, oh, those are all the people who've made $1 million. And I was like, doing what? She was like, this. And I'm like, this? Those, like, there was a lot of names. I'm like, you telling me all those people made $1 million freaking working out, like being healthy, and then just inviting people to the party? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I was mind blown. I remember calling Britta and being like, dude, people are like, they are making money doing this. So like, that was kind of like, I guess another like objection you would say like I had with starting the business was I honestly thought like there's no way like this is like this good to be true, because I saw it works people like fall off, or like the people who sold the candles and stuff. So I really do think like, and I also kind of thought like, I know a lot of y'all are all from the same town, so you think like, oh, the market's dried up. I know that's another like one I'll get from new coaches, but y'all, it's so far. And I even after year one was scared. I was like, oh my God, I've been doing it for a year now. Like there's no way I'm going to find new people each month. And I'm going on, I've hit 3 years of Success Club 5, and this summer will be 3 years Success Club 10. Like I am telling you right now, if you freaking believe it and you put in the work, just like I said on that live the other day, though, I will tell you, most of the time, if I'm sitting at Success Club 0, I can stand back and evaluate myself, and I can pick out what I'm not doing. I'm either not posting or I'm not inviting. Like those are the big ones. And sure enough, like I remember still telling Brennan, it was back in October, we were living with my parents. I say we, because I needed his account to hit Success Club 2. I told him, I was like, dude, we are both sitting at Success Club 0. I need you to take the baby because I have to go and invite. And he was like, okay. And like 2 hours later, I came back down. And I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to sign up in the morning, but I feel accomplished. Like I felt like I did my job. And like in that point, like I felt like if I didn't hit Success Club, I could at least say I worked for it, you know? Sorry, that was kind of like a change of subject, but
I feel like
sure,
it's so true. I mean, last year I went from in and out of Success Club all year long. And then literally this year I was like, I'm hitting it. There's no reason that this is not a thing. Like why am I making it a big deal? One. And then I'm telling myself reasons of why I can't do it, but then I should be telling myself reasons of why there's no reason I can't do it. You know, yes. So it's like flipping the script. And like you said, evaluating, like giving yourself a gut check, like what work are you putting in to get to this point? You know?
Yeah, like it's so true. I mean, even like now, like I'm back, like even though like I'm at home, I'm back to waking up at 5 a.m. and it feels so freaking good because I just feel like, I mean, and I'm totally that person, y'all. I'm telling you, like I will go to lay down because I want to take a nap and I'm like, would a top coach be napping right now? Probably not. So get up, go do something. Like there's always something that you can do to like move your business forward. And for me, like if I'm just having like a complete brain fog and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like I can't, like I'm not in the right mindset to invite. I can't think of a post. Well, then I'll go watch a training. Like I will literally YouTube Holly Hillier. Like I'll just YouTube something. And then I at least still feel like I am doing something to like move my business forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
well, thank you so much. I feel like that was great, like conversation and just raw, good information. I feel like sometimes we just need those like good chats, and I appreciate you taking your time. And
of course, it's always fun. Does no one else has any other questions? I'm telling you. Okay.
I think we're good. Can we take a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My wet hair.
It's okay. Mine's like day 4 dry shampoo. 1, 2, 3. My computer is sitting on my blender right now in my restroom.
Where are you? Are you in the bathroom?
Yeah, because this is the only door that we have in our entire house. So I like literally tell everybody, I'm like, anybody need to go pee? Because I have a call.
Yeah. I love it. Tiffany, thank you so much for asking me to talk with y'all. I hope it was helpful. I hope y'all don't think I'm crazy. I hope y'all come to Summit and I get to see y'all and meet y'all.
Yes, everybody in here is pushing for Diamond. So yeah, so it's really exciting. I just feel like we have grown so much as a team, and it's always sweet to hear from leaders on our team and just be able to bounce ideas off of each other. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Start telling yourself when you go to bed too, like you are a Diamond coach. Like you will go to Summit Diamond, like for sure.
Yeah.
Totally possible.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're so
Bye, have a
welcome.
good
Good
day.
night, y'all.
Bye.